Thank you all. It's my privilege every year here at the annual meeting to present an award called the Consumer's Champion Award. And we wanted to create a way, when we came up with this award, to honor a legislator every year who has really exhibited a passion for pushing back on the left's attacks on consumer well-being and consumer standard of living. And so that's what I'm here to do today. I'm really excited because I call this year's award winner my Goldilocks Award winner. You can see here the shield is rather large, or at least in some people's hands it's rather large. 2 years ago, it was Arkansas Representative Minnie McAlinden. She is about the height of this shield, so it was a little big for her. And then last year, it was Representative Mark LePack, and this is too small for Mark LePack. So we finally found a winner for whom the shield is about the right size. This year, winner I'm proud to report is Representative Todd from Tennessee. There was really no argument this year. I mean, he's just done so much, from being instrumental in the banning of foreign funding for state ballot measures in Tennessee, to the banning of DEI departments within higher ed in his state and government departments, instrumental in passing a Fiduciary Strengthening Act to make sure that his state's pension funds were not being used or invested or used to push a woke agenda across corporate America. And then just in this past session, helping pass, in fact, the leader passing, the first in the nation Energy Freedom Act, which is going to protect the state of Tennessee from out-of-control woke judges out of state banning and punishing fossil fuel use and other types of energy in his state. So he's just done an incredible job legislatively, but also I'd just like to note, he's just an incredible human being. As deacon in his Baptist church, which is a PK myself, I appreciate that. And then when I called him, as somebody with, I've got 2 kids, 8 and 5. My parents are currently at my house so I can be here with my kids. So when I called him to tell him that I got the award, I really appreciated that he goes, sorry it took me a while to call you back. I was out mowing the lawn for my son. We just had a grandchild, and I'm over at their house making sure that they don't have to worry about anything except for that little baby. And that really, I think, typifies Chris, his integrity, his passion for service. And so I'm proud to announce that he is our winner this year. Chris, could you come up here? We can give you this big old shield.
Thank you, Will. I appreciate those kind words, and it's such an honor for me to stand here before such an austere group of colleagues and friends. I just want to thank each one of you for taking the time and making the effort to be here. This is one of the most important things we can be doing as legislators and as organizations that stand for free market principles and federalism. So your communities back home expect you to do what's right. They expect you to tell the truth, to call a spade a spade. One thing that I learned being in Nashville for 8 years now is there are 3 things that always tell the truth, that never lie. That's little kids, a drunk, and yoga pants. Your constituents expect you to tell the truth. They expect you to stand up for what's right. And sometimes it's against quite a few odds. This shield is a reminder to me of a situation where I was confronting the trans and LGBTQ EIEIO bunch, and they were in force in a committee room where I was presenting a bill that would prohibit obscene drag shows from being held in front of kids. It's just kind of common sense. And one of the most spiritual events of my life, I will tell you, and I did not expect that to be. But my wife was helping with a guest we had that was going to speak in favor of the bill, and she was in the front of the room. It was very crowded. There wasn't a seat left in there. And I presented, I went to stand against the back wall while the testimony took place. There was nowhere to sit, so I just stood against the back wall next to a reporter. And she got a little worried about it. She didn't know where I was. So she starts looking around, and she said she looked back and saw me against that back wall, and she said, I just saw this, like this glow around you, and I knew you were okay. And I felt that glow. I literally, again, I had people this close to me that hated me and hated what I was there to do. But I knew at that moment, as I looked around that room, if they threw something at me, it would not hit me. I had that confidence. I felt the Lord's presence of protection in that moment. And I think that's what you will see as well. When you do what's right and do what your constituents expect you to do, you will have that shield. You will have that protection of the Lord Almighty if you ask for it. And I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to be the one in the room that says the emperor has no clothes. That's what you see that every day. We're dealing with that, where even a Supreme Court justice, as my senator and hopefully next governor asked, what is a woman? And she couldn't even answer that question. You know, the emperor has no clothes. We can say that. We can call them out on this and show the fallacy of their thoughts and of their direction and stand for your constituents. So again, I thank you for this award, Will, and Consumers Research. It's such an honor to have this. I'm very humbled by it, and I just encourage each one of you to be the person in your state that's like Esther. For such a time as this, you're there. Step out and do what's right in the eyes of the Lord and your constituents. Thank you so much.